She gave me to the wolves, Jason murmured, at Hera's insistence. She gave me to Lupa. That part I didn't know, Thalia frowned. Who's Lupa? An explosion shook the building. Just outside, a blue mushroom cloud billowed up, raining snowflakes and ice like a nuclear blast was made out of cold instead of heat. Maybe this isn't the time for questions, Leo suggested. Show us the goddess. Once inside, Jason seemed to get his bearings. The house was built in a giant U, and Jason led them between the two wings to an outside courtyard with an empty reflecting pool. At the bottom of the pool, just as Jason had described from his dream, two spires of rock and root tendrils crackled through the fountain, right through the foundation. One of the spires was much bigger, a solid dark mass about 20 feet high, and to Leo it looked like a stone body bag. Underneath the mass of fused tendrils, he could make out the shape of a head, wide shoulders, a massive chest and arms, like the creature was struggling waist deep in the earth. No, not stuck. Rising. On the opposite end of the pool, the other spire was smaller and more loosely woven. Each tendril was as thick as a telephone pole, with so little space between them that Leo doubted he could have gotten his arm through. Still, he could see inside, and in the center of the cage stood Tia Calidia. She looked exactly like Leo remembered. Dark hair covered with a shawl, black dress of a widow, a wrinkled face with glinting, scary eyes. She didn't glow or radiate any sort of power. She looked like a regular mortal woman, his good old psychotic babysitter. Leo dropped to the edge of the pool and approached the cage. Hola, Tia! A little bit of trouble? She crossed her arms and sighed in exasperation. Don't inspect me like I'm one of your machines, Leo Valdez. Get me out of here. Thalia stepped next to him and looked at the cage with distaste. Or maybe she was looking at the goddess. We tried everything we could think of, Leo, but my heart wasn't in it. If it was up to me, I'd just let her in there. Oh, Thalia Grace, the goddess said. When I get out of here, you'll be sorry you were ever born. Save it, Thalia said. You've been nothing but a curse to every child of Zeus for ages. You sent a bunch of intestinally challenged cows after my friend Annabeth. She was disrespectful. You dropped a nuclear statue on my legs. It was an accident. And you took my brother. Thalia's voice crackled with emotion. Here, on this spot, you ruined our lives. We should leave you to Gaia. Hey, Jason intervened. Thalia, sis, I know, but this isn't the time. You should help your hunters. Thalia clenched her jaw. Fine, for you, Jason. But if you ask me, she isn't worth it. Thalia turned, leapt out of the pool, and stormed from the building. Leo and Hera looked at each other with grudging respect. Intestinally challenged cows? Focus on the cage, Leo, she grumbled. And Jason, you are wiser than your sister. I chose my champion well. I'm not your champion, lady, Jason said. I'm only helping you because you stole my memories and you're better than the alternative. Speaking of which, what's going on with that? He nodded to the other spire that looked like a king-size granite body bag. Was Leo imagining it, or had it grown taller since they'd gotten here? That, Jason, Hera said, is the king of the giants being reborn. Gross, Piper said. Indeed, Hera said. Polyrian is the strongest of his kind. Gaia needs a great deal of power to raise him again. My power. For weeks I've grown weaker as my essence was used to grow him from a new form. So you're like a giant heat lamp, Leo guessed. Or fertilizer? The goddess glared at him, but Leo didn't care. This old lady had been making his life miserable since he was a baby. He totally had rights to rag on her. Joke all you wish, Hera said in a clipped tone. But at sundown it will be too late. The giant will awake. He will offer me a choice. Marry him or be consumed by the earth. And I cannot marry him. We will all be destroyed, and as we die, Gaia will awaken. Leo frowned at the giant spire. Can't we blow it up or something? Without me, you do not have the power, Hera said. You might as well try to destroy a mountain. Done that once today, Jason said. Just hurry up and let me out, Hera demanded. Jason scratched his head. Leo, can you do it? Don't know. Leo tried not to panic. Besides, if she's a goddess, why hasn't she blasted herself out? Hera paced furiously around her cage, cursing in ancient Greek. Use your brain, Leo Valdez. I picked you because you're intelligent. Once trapped, a god's power is useless. Your own father trapped me once in a golden chair. It was humiliating. I had to beg for my freedom and apologize for throwing him off Olympus. Sounds fair, Leo said.